Tonight is April 18th, 2017, and vSAN 6.6 came out today. That means going to 650D on the VCSA appliance and 6.5.0D on the ESXi hypervisor. Getting those two upgrades under my belt means I'll have the prerequisites for vSAN 6. So let's dive in. These are draft articles not yet published, but soon you will see this content up and the screenshots all updated based on how this video goes, hopefully smoothly. So let me get this out of the way and try to keep things a little bit uncluttered. I'm going to move that entirely off of this screen. All right. So what are we looking at? I'm going to go left to right. Aha. That's the local interface, the DC UI of the server. Okay. And that build number shows that it is not the latest version. So the latest build is going to be called 5310538. So we're not quite there yet. Fine. So we'll be able to see, I'll be able to see the machine reboot. Again, going left to right. Okay, this is the VCSA interface. This is going to come in handy for an update, and I'll show you that soon because we have a backup and update buttons available there. And I'm going to go ahead and kick that off. So awful good idea to do a backup. And you'll need to think a little bit about, well, where you put that. So if you have an HTTPS server or FTP or FTPS server up, go ahead and push a backup to it. And it's very quick. I've shown this in previous videos. Any old FTP server will do. This is a home lab. There's super simple old ones out there like 3C Daemon. There's a lot of Windows shareware. Well, anyhow, let's move on. So I'm going to do FTP. It helps if I put in the IP address. And I got to look that up just a second. So you could do name, of course. Doesn't really matter. All right, and actually the root directory is fine. Notice the little informational thing? It even tells you folder, subfolder. I'm kind of thinking it might complain a little if I don't, so I'm going to make a folder called VCSA, and we'll plunk it there. It's validating that login. It had no trouble at all, and it's going to cruise right through this. Do we want everything, including stats, events, alarms, and all that good stuff, 90 meg? Sure, why not? It's not going to take very long. And finish. So why are we doing a backup? Well, so we can restore in case this VCSA upgrade goes wrong. Always a good idea. Now I'm going to set up for the next step here. I told you I'm going to walk my way left to right to show you these different icons. Okay, that sure looks like an ESXi host. That's the one we're about to upgrade. Cool. Let's have a look here. Yeah, not much to see there other than image profile. So you can see, all right, March 4th is what's in there, 2017. Moving right along, left to right, vSphere web client. All right, on the summary tab, also showing the current build number, CPU, memory, and all that stuff. Okay, and then finally, HTML5 version of UI called plain old vSphere client. Get used to it. That's what it's called. Now, I left a UPS monitoring VM up. Going to want to shut that down. Why? Because, well, I'm about to have to reboot the host anyway. So instead of maintenance mode, I'm actually just shutting down VMs that I don't care too much about, or suspending them. Doesn't matter too much in that VM. Okay, what else? Well, that's it for the UIs. You got the idea. You've seen all that, and now let's see how that backup is going. Right, so that's back in VAMI, and it was that fast. Not bad, right? So what's your excuse to not do a backup? So we use the backup button. Cool. Not quite ready to do an upgrade. Why? Belt and suspenders, whatever you want to call it. Let's head back to the HTML5 interface. I like to spend as much time there as possible. And let's also do a snapshot. take a snapshot. All right, that doesn't take very long either. And then finally, I have a backup product that can also grab a quick copy of VCSA. So 3 different backup methods I'm showing you. They're all ridiculously fast and easy. Let's check out Nikivo here. And I have a job I created called VCSA, and I'm just going to simply run it. Also crazy easy to run that product. So it's also taking a snapshot, and then it's going to do a quick backup. All right, now getting ready, back to VAMI. How do you actually do an update of the appliance? Right here in the Update tab. Showing release date of April 13th, but actually the bits weren't available until today, April 18th. Nope, I got that wrong. This is the release date of the 650C that I have the VCSA appliance on, which was April 13th. Watch what happens here. It's warning us. I got to click on Check Updates. So check repository and kind of ignore what happens if you get prompted for a URL. Looks like it worked. And okay, it's showing Pacific time apparently, but that's fine. UTC time, but yeah, it's evening 4:18 here in East Coast time zone. And the version is going to go to 5500, which is really build number 531-8154 core. Okay, all sounds good to me. Let me just have a quick look. Remember that article that I'm drafting? And the release notes say 8154 at the end. See how that matches? Okay, so that's where we're headed. Now, before I pull the trigger, did the backup finished? Not quite yet. It's close. Anything else to show you here before I do the backup? No. After we're done with this, it's a rather quick reboot of the appliance, making sure everything's good, and then we'll go forward with me updating the ESXi host. All right, I'll resume this just a few more moments when the backup is done. Okay, that's done. Ready to actually install the updates. And there's only one drop-down menu choice here, install all updates. Accept the end user license agreement, click install, and off it goes. It's pulling down from the internet if you have DNS and an internet connection available. So I did not cover the prerequisite, and that's a rather key one. This install technique requires internet access. The article will touch upon an offline download bundle you can grab as an alternative to this. So now we just wait for that to install. And from what I remember, having done it recently, it really doesn't take very long. And okay, if you're actually watching the video at this point, you want me to click Show Details, right? There we go. I can see a little bit under the hood of what's actually going on as we watch it go through. Now, because it's a Photon OS rather than SUSE-based appliance of the past, it is much faster to get this process done and to reboot it and restart it. So all that's gotten better. So at this portion of the update, you've got the clock on the bottom right. So no trickery here. I'll probably just speed up the time a bit and we'll get right to the 100% done. Just a quick peek here. Which way is it scrolling? Not really sure. You know, I can do a little of this. Windows plus left arrow. Since there's so much room left over, why not have a look at the SnazzyU host client and take a look at the performance in the last hour. So you've got a nice graph right there. Yeah, it's not really showing much of anything going on quite yet. Okay, and on the left you see scrolling down. So we got the newest event right on top as it cruises on through this process. Okay, at this point I'll just let her rip. Come back till when it's done. Okay, that's done. Click on Show Details again. it just echoes the same thing. So we click OK. It's not actually going to reboot for me. So I can head on up to Summary, click on Reboot, and there it goes. Now, what if I want to actually see it reboot? Well, the host client, that would come in handy for that. Probably helps if I show the VMs and have a look at VCSA. So why am I that user interface? Because, of course, the other ones are dying right now. They have connection to VCSA, which is gone kaput. So let me kill them off, spare them weird pop-ups that come up. Okay, now notice how fast that was. Now it's not really done yet. Can't quite log in, although it looks like VAMI might be ready. So remarkable, huh? And fast. Now, still not all the processes ready. That's pretty normal, but we can already see this number is newer. And not much to look at here on the right, so I'm going to go ahead and close that. Tools is up. You can see it spiked and was, well, actually not much to see there really. That's an old spike. So I'm not sure what I was doing then, but anyhow, we should be good soon. On the left here, probably get this thing showing. If I hit F5, not yet. Okay. Now, if you actually do decide to try to click and log in to things like vSphere web client, you can get that weirdness. Or HTML5 client. So it's just way too early to log into that VCSA. Okay, so I'm going to be idle for a couple minutes, speed this up again until it's actually ready for us. And in case you didn't notice this already, you're going to want to make sure auto refresh is on 15 seconds. And you saw it updating this without me clicking on anything at all. There you go, it just did it again. Every 15 seconds, just as we asked for. There we go, got the menu to go away. Okay, we should be in the home stretch here. A couple things that might come up for questions. Let me show you about creating shortcuts. So this article covers how I created these shortcuts. It's rather straightforward with Chrome, and you can have shortcuts for all your UIs, and they look just like Windows apps. You can see which thing is maximized and minimized. Really nifty, and it's actually just Chrome under the covers. So consider following along with that article if you enjoyed what you saw here tonight for this upgrade. All right, CPU is still kind of busy, so not really a good sign, but I'm going to try anyway. Let me see if it's ready for login. Yep, any chance. So it is. It's good. Interesting. So the HTML5 client user interface coming right up. The vSphere web client just not ready yet. Interesting. All right. Now I'm using rather speedy SSDs, NVMe type actually. I'll just point that out. So to move things along and keep VCSA running snappy. All right. Now, not quite sure what the exclamation is saying, but I'm going to move on. It seems to be fully functional. And once I get, say, vSphere web client up, I'm convinced that this appliance is healthy and that I'm good to go, and I can just move forward with the ESXi hypervisor updates. Now you can do those with Update Manager, or which is built into VCSA appliance. I'm going to do the simple way, which doesn't assume you own or have the simplest home lab possible. Basically, you've cooked up a lab with just an ESXi host and the VCSA appliance installed on it. I'm not relying on you having anything fancier than that, and everything I'm showing here on how to upgrade for vSAN 6.6 readiness. All right, so while that's coming up, I'm going to point out the prerequisites that I skimmed over. So it seems like we're done with this article, and we're going to see this build here soon. VME should help me with that. So we're at 181.54. Nothing to do there. So that's good. And the vSphere web client came up just fine. That's good. Not exactly an extensive test, but hey, I'm ready to move on. So what did the article say as far as prerequisites? So we're done with that article. Going to the next one. ESXi comes next. Always do vCenter or VCSA first, then ESXi. Prerequisite, back it up. So USB image tools or something like that. So you want to be able to roll back your ESXi host. There's many ways to back that up. That's just one of them. Okay, now I'm ready to upgrade. Do I need maintenance mode? Well, let's have a look. Do I have any VMs running that I care about? Not at all. And in fact, we're actually done with Nikivo and vCenter. I can have those gracefully shut down upon reboot, and that's already been set. Let me just show you that. So best practices, you want to have a lab where things like VCSA and my backup appliance by Nikivo or Veeam or whatever you run, you want to have those automatically gracefully shut down upon reboot of the host. So bottom line, I'm ready to upgrade from this version to the latest. So ready for Putty. So I'm going to fire up Putty. And here we go. Now, if I forget my host name, pretty good little tip would be host client. Remember that? And right at the top here, I can see the host name. So how about I do Putty XD 1541. Lab.local is actually kind of optional, but all right. I'm in. Let's make it wider so I can follow right along here. And I'm going to move this to one side of the screen. So right click or triple click would be a good tip. Control C and right click to paste it, and it does a carriage return, which is a little disconcerting. So you want to be real careful here. Triple click, Control C, right click, let her rip. So this is the big one. And I didn't have the screen wide enough, so it does this weird wrap effect, unfortunately. Messing up my screenshot slightly. Anyhow, what my screenshot tries to do is give you something in the article to see so you can follow along and make sure yours worked fine. I also like to grab this next screen full of stuff that shows what was upgraded and what was not. So at this point, it looks like it's doing nothing, but it's actually pulling from the internet the code. And you don't need to worry about having a My VMware account or a trial edition or whatever. You're going to get the latest version, even with the free hypervisor. So it's a pretty slick thing to do, especially if you have something called eval experience, for instance, which gives you access to the latest code. Well, not always the latest. They're working on that. But fairly recent code with license keys for 365 days. So if you haven't heard of this, yeah, strongly encourage it. Great for home labs. Great way to get the code for much of what VMware offers. For about $200, you get off the hook. No more 60-day time bomb jail. Now you have most VMware offerings for 365 days. Pay for it again, and you get to just keep the license keys going. You don't have to rebuild your lab each time or anything like that. Okay, so at this point, we're just waiting for the update on the right to finish. Close down some irrelevant windows here. Yep, there's the patch tracker. Very useful site. All right. So when this is done, it's going to prompt for reboot. My article does mention that. So let's get that back in the screen. Sorry I jumped around so darn much, but over here, this tab, right here, I'm telling you, you can put the firewall back to where it was and turn maintenance mode off if you would turn that on. and then just type reboot, or however else you like to reboot your ESXi servers. It's really a matter of personal preference. Okay, excellent. So that finished. Should double check that's the right machine. It is. It's just not ready yet. So remember, we have some VMs that are shutting down. So where can we see that? So some VMs are being shut down, like VCSA is doing a graceful shutdown. You get some warnings on suspended VMs. That's normal. And now Putty dies, of course. Of course Putty would die, right? All right. Actually, it's a little easier to grab my screenshot now than later. All right, cool. So we can close Putty at this point. Close that because it's toast. This is now useful. And it's showing my server actually in the middle of a reboot, as expected. So I'll go ahead and speed this part up until we have the ESXi host back up. And we'll go ahead and do a test login. I do have another server to upgrade as well. Okay, that's it. 531.0538. So that's good. I did forget to do the firewall hull closing. So I'll just point that out. If you're doing frequent upgrades or whatever, not that big a deal, but obviously in production situations you'd want to do that. And of course I can putty in and fix that at any time. All right. Do we have the host client coming back up? Okay, rejoining the customer experience program to help make the products better. Cool, and there's our build number right there. So we're good to go. If I look at virtual machines, some of them are probably coming up automatically as expected. Looks like we're good. So that's about it. Oh yeah, let me do that putty. Let's just fix that. So remember I told you I skipped a step, triple click, right click, it's done. Easy. Okay. So I still have another host to do. I'll do that off camera. That's the end of this. And VCSA, of course, automatically starting, and that'll be ready for me to check out soon. There you go. A little history of how things look in the last hour or so. So hopefully you found this walkthrough video that took, about half an hour? I don't know, something like that. Overall to do, not bad for a home lab upgrade that is now ready for vSAN 6.6, the bits of which became available today, and you just saw me get the bits because it's baked right into the hypervisor that I'm now running. The trick is getting hardware on the vSAN compatibility list. I'm still working on that. Stay tuned for lots of ideas I have in that area. I want a performant vSAN, not, well, proof of concept, virtual one or nested one or any of that. You know what? I'm going to do that again. My second host, I'm going to upgrade right on camera, showing you the move to a later build of ESXi called 6.5.0D. Let me show you here. Right here. We're trying to move to this tonight. 6.5.0D. And on the last one, I missed one step and kind of had to fix it up. I'm just going to go ahead and do another because it's super straightforward to do these upgrades. I want to convince you of that. So here we go. Getting this sized appropriately over on the left here. Now all the commands ready for me to cut and paste. Cool. And this time I'm going to do Putty in a little bigger window. So kind of messed that up last time too. So I'm going to Putty into that server. Oops, hang on a second. Okay, so I want a very wide window here so I don't miss anything, and pretty much filling top to bottom. That'll give me a nice screenshot without any zany word wrapping that makes it kind of tough to see what's really going on there. Triple click, right click paste, triple click, Control C, again right click paste, and wait. There you go. That was even faster. Triple click, Control C, right click paste, and then reboot. So that's it. That's right at the end there. I didn't have maintenance mode on. Didn't need to because I don't have any other VMs running. So that's it. The whole lab is now updated. I'm ready to hit enter here. It reboots. Putty's going to disconnect. Server reboots. All that good stuff. So it's done. So that's it. The whole lab has been updated. Both hosts are updated, and VCSA has been updated as well. We have a look under Help and about VMware vSphere. You can see the build number there, and I encourage you to use this. You do actually get feedback from the team back when it's needed. If there's any clarification needed for good or medium or bad, including screenshots of what happened. So if you do encounter issues, help VMware make the product better. So that's a wrap for now, for tonight. Now I am vSAN 6.6 ready. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and for visiting tinkertry.com.